on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Thumbnail, I don't know. I had fun with it. Merry Christmas, biatches. I'll be honest, there's absolutely zero stories about people. I just wanted to say his name, and I needed to fill space. So, I don't know. It just felt like a perfect name. All said, we got a lot to talk about, a lot of things happening. World's changing. All of us are moving along. I do want to remind people, the onthefringe.locals.com. It's a thing that's still actually in existence, but what I'm telling people is there's two tiers that we were doing. There's a $5 tier where we had a monthly meeting on the third Saturday of every month, and we've been doing that. We've got one more that's going to happen on the third Saturday of next month. That's going to be the very last one ever. Probably. I don't think I'm going to do this again. Reasons, a lot of reasons. So it's fun. I did it like 2 years now. But the 17th will be the last $5 meeting. If you want to be a part of that, go to onthefringe.locals.com. Make sure you're in there and you're logged in and you're doing an active subscription of $5. You will get, you can cancel anytime. You got to log back in to cancel it, but that's where you do it. If you want to be a part of the $25 show, you need to do an active membership of $25. Same place, onthefringe.locals.com. There's two shows that are happening. One, this Saturday, we'll be doing one at 1 p.m. Pacific time, which I guess is like 4 p.m. Eastern, right? We'll be doing it live. That's when we do it live. You get invited before that, usually about 20 minutes early. That'll be happening this coming Saturday. And also the 24th of next month will be the last In the Mix live show that we do. So for anybody that's part of it, logged in, currently donating, if you don't want to keep donating, please cancel whenever you want, knowing next month is certainly the end of it all. But if you don't want to keep doing it, just make sure you log in there and cancel. I can't do it. People have asked me, I can't do it. So please do that if that's what you'd like to do. If you want to keep donating, I love that. You're awesome. You guys are the best. Fantastic. And I will say, you don't have to donate. I would create an account, and here's why. Because it was one of the things that was kind of cute. One of the people, they were a little bummed that I'm stopping this. But one thing I'm going to do every once in a while, and I'll announce it, I'll broadcast it for days leading up to it likely, but we'll just do it where I'll be like, all right, this coming Saturday, 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 p.m. Central, Eastern or whatever, we're going to have a meeting, a Zoom meeting. If you want to be a part of it, I'll send everybody an email address that's currently logged in. You don't even have to pay any money, probably. I'll do it for people that are just logged in. So onthefringe.locals.com. If you make an account over there, it's probably a good idea because you'll most likely get invited. It's the only way I can get an email address. That's it in a nutshell. It's the only place where I can get an email address from people that seem to care about me, right? So I'll invite you. I have an email address. I'll send it to you. If you guys want to come, cool, and we'll announce it. So that'll be something I'll do every once in a while. Outside of that, I've got a lot of thoughts going on in the big picture. But this all said, we're going to get into the show, and I apologize for anybody that's like, dude, I don't even care about that. I understand. I apologize. There's very few of you that are a part of it. It was a lot to give. It's Donald Trump. Black House releases official Christmas portrait. Beautiful. Made the thumbnail. You get it. J.D. Vance trains with Navy SEALs in California. Feels like he got hit by a freight train, I bet. He's doing some gnarly shit. This is cool as hell. This is our vice president. Now, a lot of this is because he's going to become president, replace Trump. I don't know. There's this weird rumor floating around that Trump's maybe not going to make it all the way through his term. If that's true, then JD's definitely, they're heating him up properly already. Or if not, this is going to be for the next election. And it's hard to say. I don't know how long you got to heat somebody up, but the longer the better, I would assume. So this feels like Trump is kind of helping in the background either way. But J.D. Vance just being a rock star, He runs crazy like a man. I don't know what they say in that. I've never been in the military. I don't know what kind of weird shit you'd be like. I hate waves into the sand. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows, right? Who's the blue shirt? Where do you get to wear blue shirts? Obviously, that means something. That's pretty cool. Anyway, military's awesome. J.D. Vance, spiderweb. He's going to kill the spider. That's what we know. It's going to happen. There's a spider at the top, and J.D. Vance is getting to it. That freaked me out. I guess that helped me get over my fear of heights. That's for damn sure. Right? Oof, boy. Yeah. Definitely guarantee I hold on. I think he was in one of these boats, too, which is pretty sweet. I'm sure Secret Service is in one of these. Yeah, this is very cool. But anyway, having a beard is something you're not allowed to do anymore. No beardos. But J.D. Vance, as he said in someplace in here, he's like, dude, I'm vice president of the United States. I can do what I want. Biatches. And so there. Take it. Brown University, they're placing their police chief on leave in the aftermath of the shooting. This really just came up not because of the news. The news I feel is stupid, frankly. I mean, it sucks what happened there, unquestionably. I mean, the police chief, okay, they had lax. From what I understand, the building was not ever locked. They were claiming it was not locked because the finals were happening, but there were students that have testified that it's always unlocked, always. No cameras, whole lot of things going on. It's an older building. So, yeah, whatever. Brown University, so they're blaming the police chief, but that's what I feel like we always do as a society. We want to blame somebody. And I just made me think, like, what does blame accomplish, right? I blame him. It's his fault. It's the police chief's fault. Now what? Fire him, okay? How does that help us going forward? Seriously, I'm listening. I mean, hopefully you can put somebody in that knows better, but not a lot of people are battle tested. And that's frankly what I feel like this was. Battle. He lost. He failed. But he's tested. I mean, I don't know. I've been reading Sun Tzu's Law of One. It's the book, or Law of, what the hell is it called? Law of War. Been reading that. My book right now. It's super cool, by the way, if any of you guys are ever interested in getting one. It's they're short little snippets. Chapters are breeze. You can read a whole chapter just dropping a deuce, dropping the kids off a pool. Anyway, whatever. Brown University President Christina Paxson said Monday night the school was placing its police chief on leave while the department looks into things. Here we are blaming. Here we are not really fixing anything. Nothing's been changed. No faults have really been called out. We're just going to fire somebody to show that we hate what happened. Donald Trump, truth is, the failing New York Times and their lies and purposeful misrepresentations is a serious threat to the national security of our nation. Their radical left, unhinged behavior, writing fake articles and opinions in a never-ending way, must be dealt with and stopped. They are a true enemy of the people. Thank you. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President DJT. Rudy Giuliani. I want to play this. I haven't actually listened to it, but I love what he's going to be talking about. He's found out about the 315,000 ballots, and he got sued. He lost a bunch of jewelry. They made him pay. Yeah, the deep state went after him hard, and well, it looks like he's vindicated. And he probably knew this. He's like, those rings better come back. I don't care where they're at. That's going to be very interesting.
In the meantime, Mayor, what was your reaction when you first heard that, over 315,000 votes in Fulton County lacked the required poll worker signature necessary?
Well, 315,000 votes were pulled out of Fulton County because they were illegal, as they should have been. Trump would have won the election by about 40,000 votes, maybe 50,000 votes. So I really do expect now that the people that attack me over Georgia will come and kiss my feet. Nothing less is acceptable. I told you that was screwed up, and I am right. It was screwed up. I told you that he won that state. And when the president said to the slimy Secretary of State, you can't find me 11,000 votes, he's talking about a potential couple of 100,000 here. Remember, the votes in Fulton County were like 3-1 for him. So if you just take those votes out, right, you deprive him of about 145,000 votes, I think.
Right.
And then he loses by 135,000. And Trump wins Georgia. Now, you still have to win another state, but it isn't like there weren't the same problems elsewhere, which they very arrogantly dismiss as saying, even the Wall Street Journal and the Post arrogantly dismiss it as saying, the president deceitfully said that the election was rigged, wrongfully suggested that the election was rigged. They got to get that wrongfully out of there. That's an opinion, boys, not a reality. The reality is that you can now say with a certitude, even beyond a reasonable doubt, that Georgia voted for Trump.
Not just voted for Trump, but voted the two Republican senators were also in that same mess up. And I think that might have been a vote that happened later, or it happened during that same election. I forget which. But needless to say, Warnock and what's-his-face, both of them. So that whole thing, too. So, again, the vindication's coming. The information's coming out. We're all disseminating it best we can, right? Rippling it out as best we can. But this is coming to the surface. This is the boil, if you will, that's festering. That is coming to the surface. We're going to experience this. Now, I bring this section up because I think a lot of us don't truly appreciate the programming, the levels of programming that might still exist within each one of us, self-included, and how they do it, and kind of a couple examples. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what else I feel like saying. But this is the first start of it. This is Ben Carson, and he's talking about the reform that we need right now. And again, it's kind of it's good info. All this is good info that's about to be said. I'll probably comment on it all in the MK fashion because that is kind of what's happening. And oh my God, can you imagine if this dude won presidency? He talks so friggin' slow. Oh my God, he's worse than Hakeem Jeffries because he talks normal. He just has 14-second pauses between every fucking word he has. This guy just talks so slow. I love him. I love him dearly. But I need a nap when I listen to him. It's horrible.
What would you do if you wanted to bring down America? You couldn't do it militarily. I think you might think about our education system. Could we possibly infiltrate the teacher unions and the public schools so that we can indoctrinate the children? Could we gain control of the media, of Hollywood, so that we could change the culture of the people? Should we do everything we can to destroy the American family?
Yes, but MK Ultra exactly how they do it. They program us. Couldn't they do this? Couldn't they get control of the teachers union? We see how radical they are. Of course. Money. Money, 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 money. Money, money, money. All over the place. Money talks, BS walks. And right? I'm not wrong about, I love him. Love the guy. Love you, Ben Carson. My God, if I had you as my prof, I'd be like, I'm falling asleep in class. No, what's going on? The guy's brilliant. Smartest man on the earth. Now, here's another example in a slightly different direction. Again, I'm just being super critical of this one particular speech, but Mike Huckabee's popped up on my radar a couple times. Like the guy, I think he's in it for the right reasons. He's definitely got leanings. His daughter's interesting, good. I like her a lot. Whatever. Right? I'm not besmirching either of them, though. They're closer to, having a flag thrown on them than others right now. Let's just say that going. I feel, and hopefully you guys will catch it when you watch it. You'll hear what I consider kind of a push in a direction. If we could only get the info into people the way we want it.
But where does that come from? There's a difference between dumb and ignorant. Dumb is that a person cannot process information. They just don't have the capacity. They don't have an operating system, if I put it in computer language. Ignorance is that the data isn't there. What we're dealing with is not an operating system problem. It's a data problem. We have not downloaded the proper data, the true data, into the minds of younger people. And we've assumed that they're going to grow up intellectually curious and intellectually honest, and that they will look for themselves. But they're not. That's the problem. They're not looking. They're taking at face value what some podcaster says. And the result is absolutely dangerous.
Now, of course, I would assume their audience, and you've always got to assess that, but this gets pushed out to wider audiences and stuff like what I do. Maybe one day it will, and I got to be careful at that point, but whatever. But he's obviously talking about people that are anti-Israel, but not everybody's necessarily on that train. Some of us, again, me, like loving to ride in the fence, love it. Pisses people off, but it's fun. It's fun as hell. So Huckabee's kind of If only we could get the information into people's heads the way we want it, not the way these podcasters are sharing it. Now, again, there's a bunch of shit podcasters that are either intentionally or unintentionally misrepresenting and pushing people into erroneous directions. But there is definitely people that are doing it intentionally. Very well, I might add. One of them is definitely in the spotlights right now, and I believe is a meteor cratering towards the Earth, and it's fun to watch, and I can't wait to see how it all plays out. We'll see how that one goes. But yeah. So again, this one kind of in the same vein, if you will. We talked about the schools. So Daniel Turner posted this. Proportion of registered, let me open this here. Proportion of registered registered Democrat Republicans among faculty at elite U.S. universities. Sorry, that was so hard for me to say. Harvard is the top one here, 99%. 99% Democrats. Princeton, 98% Democrats. Yale, 97% Democrats. Berkeley, 97% Democrats. Columbia, 96% Democrats. Brown, 96% Democrats. Johns Hopkins, 95% Democrats. Duke, Cornell, 95%. Caltech, 93%. Stanford, 91%. Dartmouth, 91%. Penn State, 90%. And UCLA at 89%. So you get the picture. This is how they're and have been taking over this country. Curious. We had a military jet that had to perform a headbutt, they call it, on an airplane intruding Mar-a-Lago airspace. The first time I heard this term, I guess misrepresented it. I thought they'd come at them kind of hard from the front and create sort of a shock wave that wouldn't necessarily break the plane, but would headbutt it. Like that to me is a headbutt. They're saying a headbutt is when it flies and it gets in front of them a little bit or something. I don't know, if it gives them some jet wash or something. Maybe that's their headbutt. That would work. But whatever the case is, they had to headbutt them. They headbutted an airplane, and it made it sad. Yeah, they were in Trump's airspace, shouldn't have been. They got warnings over the radio. They apparently weren't paying attention because they were probably trafficking people. No, I don't know what they were doing. They were just stupid Cessna 172 or whatever they are, right? Whatever that is. Looks like it. High wing Cessna. 4 passenger at best, 5 if you stuff people in there and don't actually want to get off the ground. I'm kidding, of course. What do I know? Okay, so fakers, I call those fakers because I think it's important for us to understand. There's a lot of people out there that are truly not representing who they are, who their self is. I think you should get better at trusting your inner senses, but I will say a lot of us have crazy-ass beliefs, and that fucks up your filter really badly. So it's like, I don't really know how to give people advice on this. It's person by person, so easy to do. General population, extraordinarily difficult. I don't know. I could give advice that would be great for a small group, and it would actually cause damage to others. It's like, whatever. Malicious actors impersonating senior U.S. officials. FBI warns. So yeah, there are. They're like, if you get, just going to brings up the larger point. If you're getting reach out from me, other than this crap about the 2-tier meetings, right? I've been sending people emails. I'm going to be sending some emails anyways. If you get an email in that regard, yes, totally me. Sorry. I've already got your email. We've already emailed before. This shouldn't be anything new. Outside of that, if anybody is reaching out to you, especially on any other platform other than email, because I don't comment to anybody other than email at all. Zero. If it's anybody, it's not me. Especially if they're talking about Nassar and stupid bullshit like that. Okay? Second off, if you're not actually seeing the screen, zero hedge. Like right now, it's what I'm showing. Right? Just not that I'm trying to plug them per se, but if you're not seeing the screen, if you've got some little dude in the bottom talking, it's not my channel. You're not even watching. You have no idea what you're missing. It's unfortunate. But you should go to On the Fringe. On Rumble's the best place. Even search On the Fringe on regular YouTube, and you should find it. But you should see the screen, and you should see me on the bottom corner. Actual person, not a cartoon character. If you don't see that, you're not watching it on my channels. You can go to myname.com, and if you want to reach out, email, anything like that, that's also a place where you can go, but you'll find some of the places I exist. That's one place to go, so just saying. Not all of them, but some of them. Georgia Senator exposing Fonnie Willis's boyfriend, Nathan Wade. He's in trouble. This guy is, this whole shenanigans are a problem. And the fact that they were both doing this together, and then Fannie Willis is yelling at the Senate. It's deliciousness. It's just like a biscuit that was made and it had like cheese flecks in it or something. You know, something that just went into the biscuit and you see it and you're like, oh, that's a special biscuit. That's not just a biscuit, which would have been good, but that's an extra special biscuit. And then they just pour some damn gravy on there. Oh, no. I'm hungry, guys. I told you this already. That's what's happening with the elections and with these crazy states that attack Trump. All these things are coming together.
Here's the deal, and here's what we learned. Nathan Wade led an entire emissary of people from Willis's office out to Washington, D.C. to meet with the J6 committee. Nobody can recall what they did. They've all got amnesia, but they went out there, and they had significant multi-day meetings. On November 18th, Nathan Wade had a phone call with the White House that allegedly was an 8-hour phone call according to Wade's billing. Why is November 18th, 2022 significant? That's the day that Merrick Garland appoints Jack Smith to go after President Trump, and the same day that the number 3 guy at DOJ announces he's leaving the dream job at DOJ to go work in Manhattan for Alvin Bragg. But lastly, and perhaps most shockingly, was the revelation that Willis was tracking the earned media value inside of her office. In other words, how much is our press coverage worth? Note, it was worth hundreds of millions of dollars. The committee work has just begun. There's more to come. That's what we learned today.
That's just extraordinarily horrible. Literally paying attention to how much damage they were quote unquote doing to the other side. Even though I would say those numbers were probably not accurate. Maybe they were. Maybe they were. Look, here's the thing. Here's one thing that's really funny. And I've been super accurate about. And again, I'm listening to others. And again, it seems that I've seen further. I'm standing on giants' shoulders. I constantly am paying attention to certain people and a lot of things, a lot of factors that come into play. But we're ahead of ourselves. I said 70 by the end of the year. Here we are, 71.43 for silver right now. Went up $2.87. Well, it was $2.86 right now. Gold's up quite a bit. In fact, which is bad for the dollar. That means the dollar is not in the best of shape. Silver's, there's multiplier. We've still got, I would still say we've got close to 3 times solid before things get ugly. If you've got a 401k or an IRA, seriously, if you've got a 401k or an IRA, divest a bunch into precious metals as much as you can. My good friends at Gold Coco can help you. They're experts at it. Best customer service. You're going to get some freebies. We'll talk about it. Tax-free, penalty-free. But right now, all the signs point to, we got problems. The dollar Federal Reserve note needs to go down. They always said gold would destroy the dollar. It's what our new currency, if it's Treasury-backed, which it will be, a Treasury-created currency is going to be backed by precious metals. And possibly other things, but most likely precious metals solely. Once you've got the precious metals, you've already got the new note. They're going to say, well, this is a silver note and it's worth X. And you'll be like, well, what if I got an ounce of silver? They'll be like, that's the same thing. You want one of these notes instead? And I'll be like, well, right now they're easier to spend. Okay. Give me that. Give me this. All right, here you go. You're already there. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. These guys are trying to take your wealth. That's the big thing. Now, up to 10%. Up to 10% free silver to you. Silver's the multiplier. Gold protects your wealth. It's like a bobber, rising seas up and down, right? It'll protect your wealth. It's really what you want to do right now. Okay, so you want to protect a bunch of it. But then you want some of this radical, crazy silver. Now, silver takes a lot of more silver for the dollars, okay? You got $10,000, that's like 2 of these, literally almost. All right, just making easy numbers. $10,000, that's like, what, a bunch of these? 100 of them? Something like that. 70, I can't talk anymore. 70 is $70 right now, times 10 is 700, so 10 plus a few more, right? You need 2 of these, need 12, 13, 14 of these. So you start to run into an issue where it's space. It's literally physical metal. It's your metal. It's got to be stored someplace. There's a fee for that. So this is one of the things to consider. Eventually, you can't have it sent to you. You can. It's considered payout. You can be taxed and penalized. But once you get as much of your precious metals over into your precious metals IRA, you're already halfway there. Think about it. So again, you want to keep putting in, you can for sure. Otherwise, you can keep having your employer match. Keep doing that. Write it as far as you can. If you lose a bunch, but you only had like 20,000 in there now because you just pulled 500 out, meh, right? It's not like it's compounding on itself per se. And right now, I'd worry about the protection. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Protect it. If you can call within 20 minutes when you give the 4 data points and you click the button, I think you get a free like Ronald Reagan coin, which is pretty cool. It's a half ounce. It's 0.999% pure. It's worth, well, shit, $72 right now. So it's what, $36-ish? Going up every day just on silver price, but it's also a collector, so it's worth even more. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. Get out while you can. I don't know when the end is. We don't know, but there's a lot of stuff teetering. We're going to talk about it. The European Union right now, they're a mess. When that goes, that could bring us down. So again, Trump's doing everything right to try to protect us, and when shizzle hits the fan, we're already moving in the right direction. So again, I don't know what the time frames are, but get smart. We've still got a little bit of growth, for sure, 3 times probably, close to, if not more, in silver. And that's before the end of next year, I'm thinking. And we're pretty close to that, those levels. So it's already spiking. You don't want to wait, that's for sure. You want to get in on this while you can. The silver's the key, and you're going to make a bunch of money actually there. That's where you're going to make money. So as much silver as you can get, it's, you gotta kind of control that if you can. Mainstream media is silent as horrific video emerges of an attack of a 75-year-old woman in Seattle from a guy that had been busted multiple times. In fact, the cops were shocked that he actually upped it. Normally, he just punches people. So that's okay. But now he's using a giant stick, bat. It looks like a bat, but it's not a bat because that would imply a baseball bat in my mind. Busted this chick's face up, broke one of her eyes. Her eyes was ruined forever. Cheekbones all jacked up. This guy's been arrested many, many, many times. He's terrorized people for years. Repeat offender who was known to police just randomly slashed a 75-year-old woman in the face. Smash is probably the better term. Dude's been busted a whole bunch of time. And judges just keep putting him back out on the street. This is but just unacceptable, right? I mean, unacceptable. Do I need all?
It's just before noon on December 5th outside the King County Courthouse in Seattle. That's 75-year-old Jeanette Markin standing on the corner, and police say this is Fali Peya walking up with a stick in his hand when out of nowhere he attacks her. Jeanette is knocked to the ground. Bystanders take a picture of the suspect, then rush to help Jeanette. The full scope of what happened wasn't clear yet. Police arrested Peya a block away and found the weapon, this wooden board with a screw through the end of it. Police say that screw went through Jeanette's eye.
Who is this guy?
He's a regular. He usually punches. I guess today he decided to escalate things way worse than his usual.
Where?
With I didn't even catch the first time I saw this. The screw coming out of the wood thing. Are you? Normally just punches. Well, Seattle, wonderful job. No wonder Boeing left. I think they're in Chicago now. How is that any better? Chicago, Boeing. Sorry, how is that any better? Doesn't seem like it would be. Tennessee law enforcement just rescued 4 migrant children who. Wait, is this what I wanted? Yeah, it was. They just rescued these 4 migrant children who apparently were being trafficked across the border and forced into child labor by a Mexican drug cartel. Last week, nearly every Democrat voted against a bill to add protection for migrant children, including vetting sponsors. Yeah, because there's probably a bunch of crap in that bill, by the way. When they say it like this, don't ever trust them. Again, MK Ultra. I wish people saw what I saw. I really do. I try so hard to teach and I can't. It's been very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. I hope a bunch of you guys are figuring it out, man. I really, really do. It's frustrating. I see it happen all the time. Don, let's go this way. This is what controls our discussion, Dan, not that. John Brennan, his lawyer confirms he is the target of Florida grand jury probe. Asks the judge to intervene. Yeah, no, don't let them look into me, man. I'm CIA. You remember me? The guy that's, every picture I see of him anymore now, he's always like super grumpy. Like he just looks like he just bit the head off a child or something. I mean, it's just alleged. I mean, I didn't say you actually did that, John. Come on. How would I know? I mean, that's Trump. DOJ files lawsuit against D.C. Metro PD for infringing on the Second Amendment. So they're going hard after the D.C. people right now for all their little like laws against semi-automatic rifles. D.C.'s like, we're federal land, actually. You don't get to do that. We follow the Constitution here. So they're going after Washington, D.C. in every aspect of their, quote, autonomy that they thought they had. He's just like, no, you're where the Capitol is. I don't know if you understand that or not, but no, we did all this for ceremony. This is stupid. We could stop it at any time. It probably requires an act of Congress, which that's a phrase for a reason. I would take an act of Congress, which nowadays it's impossible. It's impossible, they would say. There's a slim chance. No, I almost did something that would piss people off. I'm glad I don't sometimes. President Trump, he's not screwing around when it comes to places like Minnesota.
You sent a team from the Labor Department to investigate. What's this about fraud tourists?
Well, unemployment insurance fraud is something that the American people don't deserve. You know, the unemployment insurance fund is to be whole for one specific reason, and that's to bridge the gap between when people lose their job at no fault of their own, that they can find a new job, and it's to bridge that gap. When you steal hundreds of millions of dollars from the American taxpayer, we need to find out what is happening. So I did send a letter. The Department of Labor, through the Employment and Training Administration, sent a letter to Minnesotans to say, we want to know what is happening. So please produce those reports. So we're going to send in a UI strike team to find out exactly what's happening on the ground. We will not tolerate fraud under this administration.
Was there this fraud tourism? I'm interested in that. I'm told there were Somalis loading up suitcases with dollars and flying to Africa to deliver it. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's exactly what we want to find out. And those are the reports that we're demanding by the 1st of January. So when that UI strike team goes in, we can do that full investigation and report to the American people exactly where those dollars have gone.
I love tamales. Those are friggin' awesome. Somalis. With an S? Oh. Whoops. Yeah, no. F them Somalis. Crazy stuff. What's going on, right? Come on, guys. I can't help myself. We've also got some crazy stuff going on with California. We must mention, of course, Los Angeles Times, Los Angeles Times literally hammering hard at them, which is good because, well, they represent Los Angeles and all your people just lost their homes, and still 2 years later, nobody's better. LAFD, I think they've had like 3 homes built or something, or started. LAFD watered down Palisades fire report. I'm not going to get into all the details, frankly, because it's just too much stupid. This I will play. This guy, which is right here. Firegate, they're calling it. You've probably heard of this dude, Rick Caruso. If not, he's, I want to say he goes back to the old news here in California. Possibly like Channel 5 or maybe, whatever these, KTLA or something like that. Whatever it is. We'll just go with Mr. Caruso. But what he says is still relative, I think, relevant. That word.
The LA Times just exposed a massive cover-up, Firegate, a deliberate effort to cover up the findings in the after-action report by changing the after-action report. This was deliberately and intentionally done to shield LA Fire Department, Mayor Bass, and her administration from the failures of the fires on January 7th. The type of changes that were made include the fact that the earlier fire on January 1 reignited on January 7th, and the fire department officers were ordered off the area. They deleted all of those references from the after-action report. This is an intentional cover-up to reduce accountability, the lack of transparency. The culture of corruption in the city of Los Angeles is despicable and is out of control. Mayor Bass and her administration and the leadership of the fire department should be held accountable. And it's certainly not fair to the hard-working men and women of the LA Fire Department that serve this city so greatly every day. Read the LA Times story, Sunday paper, the front section, and today's paper in the California section about the battalion chief who was upset that the changes were made.
Yeah, so hopefully we get some accountability. That's my prayer. Anyways, a lot of crazy stuff going on. Legal Rams Ice. This is the guy that I shared the story yesterday where they busted the window and I showed the picture. Oh, right? That was pretty cool. Well, this dude, wow, the story is like much more intense. There was multiple crashings. The pursuit happened. Dude tried to run from the car eventually. Like, dude, this guy like did not want to get pulled over, did not want to go back home, did not want to refrain from getting another $200. I hope you got the Monopoly reference. If not, oh well. 60 Minutes segment on the El Salvador prison mistakenly airs in Canada. Oops. Did we accidentally play it? I don't know if that was like they're trying to F with the company. Like somebody's like, we're putting it out because it needs to be out. And so that's like the one place where they could force it. That's maybe, I think, is probably what this was. More than ABC or CBS or whoever the hell it was. CBS. More than them wanting to. Best I could tell, doesn't sound like it aired or aged, I should say, even better. Aged. It did not age as well as one could hope. We'll see. I think more information is going to come out. I don't feel this story was necessarily sufficient, but it did get us talking about it, which I think is a good start, right? Got to have dialogue. Federal taxpayers not going to fund the roads and bridges of states that are doing all this stuff with the illegal truck drivers.
The lives of good American folks.
So let's stop that, right? California, Illinois, Minnesota, oh, these states, New York. It's going to be bad. It's going to be very, 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 did I say very? Bad.
Taking the lives of good American folks. We want to do this right. And I don't have a law enforcement at US DOT, so I can't go in across the states and do these checks. I have to rely on the state's law enforcement to help me out. But what I can do, Brian, is I can pull their money. That's the leverage that I do have. And as long as they don't comply, there's statutory rules by which I have to abide by. I have to give them, time to comply with our rules. But if they don't, I guarantee you that the federal taxpayer is not going to fund their roads and bridges and their systems when they're putting illegals on the roads and endangering the lives of the American people. And you know this, if you get a driver's license in Colorado, New York, or California, you don't stay in those states. You actually travel across the country, so you endanger every single American by putting an unqualified driver behind the wheel as they travel across all of the lower 48. Incredibly dangerous.
Now, interestingly, hopefully I have the story. I think I might. We have this is not the story. We have they made a bunch of, they've removed a bunch of these California, these CDLs, these commercial driver's licenses. They removed a bunch of them. And it was like 50, 60, 70, I don't know, somewhere around there. Well, hopefully I'll find the story at some point, but if not, this is the story. And they were here in California, Southern California, Border Patrol. Border Patrol got them at, I think, ports of entry in a couple cases, but even at the checkpoints. At the checkpoints, they got the drivers check their IDs, and they're like, no, man, you're... So that, to me, says that maybe they do have a little more effort. I do know the Border Patrol head, and we've seen him go toe-to-toe with Illinois and all that stuff, or I think it was up there in Illinois, that they are going toe-to-toe. And he's like, no, you will do you will follow the federal law. And I think Border Patrol's like, hell yeah. And California's like, you can't. And they're like, hey, we're federal people, man. We're not asking you to help us. Thank you. So that's a big deal. The judge, I don't know if we have his name. I'm sure it's going to be douchey, and I don't want to play this. But judge allows MS-13 gang member and illegal alien, Kilmar Abrego, he also beat his wife. We shouldn't leave that out. It's fair to, cover all the colors of his rainbow. But he's going to remain, they say, free within the United States until after Christmas. This is unacceptable. I don't know if that's legal. I think, I would assume Bondi is going to arrest him again, or Cash or somebody will arrest him again. Federal. You're busted on federal charges. No. All right. So before I get into this, I wanted to, so what we're talking about, of course, is Epstein, but it reminded me of Ray Epps. First off, I want to see that guy arrested, tarred and feathered. That guy deserves to be tarred and feathered. He was literally running around on January 6th trying to talk people into going into stuff. So that dude needs to be taken down. I feel like there was, epilepsy. No, I don't know. I felt like there was another Ep tie-in. Everybody expects Epstein to be a certain thing. I'm going to kind of just remind everybody, none of you know, and all these people that claim to know don't know, and so please just let's see what they tell us. It's not necessarily going to be 100% the truth, but all these people speculating or saying they know something they don't know, and they're not providing any sort of evidence whatsoever, that's absurd. Please stop listening to people that just say things but don't necessarily ever back it up. Like once in a while, maybe, I guess, I could see where you might believe them. I still would recommend more than often they provide evidence, and sometimes they don't. But a lot of stuff's going to come out people don't like. A lot of stuff's going to come out that's going to be confusing. A lot of stuff's going to come out. 30,000 more documents released. Again, they're trying to sue. They're trying to impeach Pam Bondi because she's not getting it out quick enough. They got another 30,000 came out. Now, Jeffrey Epstein supposedly joked he'd taken the short route to his home in the jailhouse letter that he wrote to Larry Nassar, who, by the way, is this dude. He was the USA gymnast coach for the girls. You know, all the ones that were underage. He has coached them from when they were like 7, 4, 5, literally. For years and years and years, he coached. These people were getting molested. Nobody talked about it, ever. I'm sure the girls said something to their mom and dads, and I'm sure that somehow got taken care of. Because these childs were going to be superstars. So he's writing this dude letters. I don't necessarily believe he wrote these, but he might have. He could have. I'm not saying he didn't. I don't know. This is my point, right? Some people, again, more binary thinking people will be like, he wrote them, he didn't. That's it. One or the other, right? You guys like commit. You got to commit, right? You're a 1 or a 0. There's no other way around it. And I'm like, I have no idea. Could be. Bunch of words on the screen that they're claiming is him. Jay Epstein. Oh, it must have been him. They put that there. I mean, shit. Whatever. Who knows? Who knows? Don't know. It could have been. I'm not saying it's not either. I seriously don't know. I freaking don't know. But he's talking about suicide. So now, I mean, they've always said suicide. Well, now there's this video that's going around. Everyone's saying it's fake. But this was in the Epstein files. This was released by the FBI. The FBI had this video for whatever reason. Maybe they were tracking this fake. I don't know. Again, a lot of people are going to talk about this, but this is part of the tranche of information. A video. That's stupid. You're going to watch it. They're saying this is a video which appears to show Jeffrey Epstein attempting to kill himself. I think this was the day that he supposedly killed himself. Now, all of a sudden, we've got camera footage, which might be the billion-dollar part of this. Like, here, we're going to show you that we have camera footage. Now, what I'm concerned about or weird on or whatever, and I've spent 0 time in jail or prison, thank God. It's been a wonderful experience, keeping it that way. But I don't know what all this, like, what did they kill a pumpkin? What I was thinking of a Tennessee Vol because orange, you'd bleed orange probably, but I felt that was too close to home and too actual violent, right? So we're killing a pumpkin in this case. I just want you guys to know no Tennesseans were hurt in the manufacturing of this video. But again, I don't know what all this like orange shit is on the ground. I have no idea what this is. This is just stupid. But I'm gonna play. It's 10 seconds. I obviously talked it up a bunch, and this is, I don't know. He could be on the phone for all that. He's supposedly trying to kill himself, I guess. Ooh. I don't know. You want to watch it again? Ooh. Oh. Did you see that move? He jerked. All right. He must be doing something. Again, I don't know. It's fisheye. Talk about it, right? Flat Earth. That's why. It's flat Earth. There's proof right there. It's a fisheye lens. Sorry, I can't help myself. I still think it's funny as hell, too. Hey, DOJ is releasing shocking fake video of Jeffrey Epstein's suicide as part of a file dump. So, yeah, now they're calling it a fake video. Again, it was in the tranche. Don't know why. Here, newly released Epstein files reveal that while on suicide watch, Jeffrey Epstein told guards his cellmate tried to kill him. Inmate brought down to suicide cell, inmate lying on bed, inmate sitting on bed talking, inmate states his cellmate tried to kill him, just randomly, 15 minutes later. Inmate sitting on bed trying to remember what happened, inmate sitting on bed, like, ooh, okay. So every 15 minutes, like, what's he doing? Well, they're having a conversation about him sitting on the bed. No, I mean, yeah, so whatever. It's apparently stated his cellmate tried to kill him. Some point in there where all of that pumpkin blood was, you guys saw all that pumpkin blood. Remember it, right? All that pumpkin blood. Like, somehow, at some point, another individual gets brought in. Maybe he's the one that... Again, don't know. Again, it's coming out, the files. So everyone's going to doubt the files, which I love. I just enjoy the hell out of that. That's a fun ride when everybody freaks out about this. And, this is going to be so much fun. This is going to be delicious. So Gretchen Fight for Truth put this out. I don't think this tactic will work very well, Billy Boy. Spokesperson for Bill Clinton on Monday called on the Department of Justice to release any documents related to the former president and its ongoing release of files related to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. So we got a rare statement from Clinton spokesperson Angela Orenya. She comes as the Trump administration has attempted to make him the GOP new boogeyman in a months-long saga related to the files that has plagued the White House, sparked sharp rebukes from allies and MAGA firebrands. Now, what they're doing is they're properly tarring the Clintons entirely. It'll hopefully go back all the way to Arkansas, but we'll see if it does. But Clintons are dirty, 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 dirty. So we're going to stick tar all over you so everybody knows you're dirty. Then we're going to feather you so everybody sees you. And then when the punishment comes, people will be like, less likely to riot. There's still going to be, of course, idiots in the street, but there won't be that many. There won't be that many. It'll be a small amount. They'll barely be able to start fires. It'll be fantastic. What the Department of Justice has released so far and the manner in which it did so makes one thing clear. Someone or something is being protected. Orenya said in the statement, "We do not know whom, what, or why." I don't know if she's black, but she should be. But we do know this. We need no such protection. Hallelujah. We'll see whatever happens. The Clintons are going to get tied up in this. You guys know that. You know that. Come on now. Bernie Sanders, he's blocking a cancer treatment for kids for his own selfish reasons. This is kind of actually funny, but this is the way politics works. What are you saying? Yeah, I mean, Bernie Sanders, there's this bill that was supposed to pass that's supposed to help treat kids for cancer or something like that. And there's some bullshit that was supposed to be attached to it that got eliminated. And he's like, I'm not going to vote for it if it's not there. Like, so he's doing his thing. I'm almost close on him. I can't do Trump yet. One of these days, man. One of these days, when Trump's like dead, like 20 years from now, I'll finally nail it. Nobody will even fucking care anymore. That's still gonna bug me. I don't know why I can't do Trump. Everyone can do Trump. Everyone can do Trump. There's children doing Trump. Takes no skill. I don't know what it is. Hurts my brain. But Bernie Sanders, bastard. And all these things react well to bullets. That too. I want to mention this guy. Split Rock. We like this. We like Split Rock just a lot of reasons. He's a good guy, and he's one of the guys that's been in the $25 thing. He's helping veterans. This is just a good guy. He's enhancing his coffee company. He's got some really delicious coffee. You can use coupon code OTF on it. Go to Split Rock. He's got whole bean. He's got ground. He's got some delicious coffee. They're actually kind of expanding the roasting facilities. So this man's moving up in the world. And again, just a really good man. The owner is a bang up dude, and that's one thing that matters a lot to me when it comes to the businesses is the people that I'm dealing with, the product itself. And again, it's a delicious coffee. So use coupon code. You can go to splitrockcoffee.com/discount/OTF, or I think probably just figure out at some point discount code OTF. It's going to save you some money. And who knows what else it gets you. Probably something yummy. But proudly veteran-owned and purpose-driven, 20% off every month when you subscribe. And subscribing on just about everything I sell on this platform is, subscription is going to save you money, always. Save you money, possibly get you free shipping. Not that that's necessarily happening here. You're going to get 20% off is what they're saying if you subscribe. That's fantastic. All these things are incredible. So just keep those things in mind whenever you do any of the products I talk about. But splitrockcoffee.com, splitrockcoffee.com. Good guy. I like him a lot. And you guys will definitely enjoy the coffee. That's a fantastic thing going on there. All right. Whoa, I turned him off and me. Wow, what happened? It's gotten crazy, people. Can't do it. Trump's going to meet major insurers. He's going to try to lower health care costs. We'll see how that plays out. I didn't want to get too far ahead of that story. He's going to. All right. We'll see what happens. U.S. economy grows by 4.3%. So we're growing. Inflation's coming down, and yet the Fed's still being doucheholes, and we need to get that interest rate down so we can refinance a bunch of debt. Trump's going to get there. He's going to get there. It's going to be awesome. Times are coming. We got a bump in the road coming, folks. Just get ready for it. That's all I can say. Many of the bilateral trade deals, specifically South Korea and Japan, were apparently about U.S. shipbuilding. Now, we've got some cool stuff on the shipbuilding thing. First off and foremost, shipbuilding, ship destroying. Let's start with ship destroying. We took down another of the narco-terrorist boats. Apparently, there was one individual on this particular low-profile variety of drug boats, maybe trying to see if they can get past the I don't know. We've got sonar and everything. I was like, what do you think you can do this? There's no chance. Anything that's got those types of motors, I'm sure we know the sound, right? And if you've got multiples of them, it just sonar is so fantastic. The little bit I do know about the stuff we probably don't know is sonar is amazing. Oh my God, I love sub stuff. Anyways, they're gonna blow this dude up. And I guess, yeah, it looks like they missed, by the way. That's I would call a miss, because we're going to see that again in the right place this time, though. Maybe it just, I don't know. Maybe maybe there was something there. I don't know. But yeah, boom, 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 boom. I have no idea what was on there, but they really wanted it dead. They wanted this thing extra dead. Dead crispy, right? Crispy dead? Probably crispy dead. I think that's a better way to do it. Here's Donald Trump talking about the new battleship. This is cool. I've got some stats coming up in a second, but this new battleship, daggum. I'm going to say those kinds of strong words. You just be careful. We might have a daggum or two in there. Boy, I tell you what.
As Commander-in-Chief, it's my great honor to announce that I have approved a plan for the Navy to begin the construction of two brand new, very large, the largest we've ever built, battleships. You know, you used to build the Iowa, the Missouri, the Wisconsin, the Alabama, many others. We had big battleships. These are bigger, but they will have 100 times they'll be 100 times the force, the power, and there's never been anything like these ships. These have been under design consideration for a long time, and it started with me in my first term, because I said, why aren't we doing battleships like we used to? And these are the best in the world. They'll be the fastest, the biggest, and by far 100 times more powerful than any battleship ever built. So if you look at the Iowa, the Missouri, Wisconsin, Alabama, and others, but they were similar in size, some a little bit bigger than the others, but if you take the biggest one, it's 100 times more powerful. They're longer by a little bit, but and they're bigger ships, but they hold much more. They use the word lethality.
Now, for everybody out there that was like, dude, battleships are stupid. Why would you use one of those? Aircraft carriers are already antiquated. No. And what Trump is talking about is amazing. They're talking about a armada of about 25 battleships, or 25 ships. Now, I can't imagine them building 25 of these things. These things are stupid crazy. But I could easily see them having one of them, or two, in one battle group, probably, I would say, with 2 carriers, probably 3 or 4 submarines, and then all the support craft, as well as a shit ton of Arleigh Burke and stuff, all the anti-sub, everything that goes along with that, right? There's a whole bunch of crap. So 25 ships, easy. But let's talk about what this mofo has. Now, length and all that nonsense, it's big, right? I don't know, for any of you guys that are into ships, that'll matter, but meh. It's 35 kilotons, they're saying, in size, which is huge. Speed, 30-plus knots, which means it'll keep up with a carrier. It'll be nuclear-powered for sure. Crew, they're saying 650 to 850. Class size, 20 to 25 ships. Main battery. Surface Launch Cruise Missile Nuclear. So the SLCM-N, or /N, whatever, dash, I think. They're going to have those. They'll be able to launch them from a number of different locations, depending on which ones they are. 12 cells of CPS. I believe those are the equivalent of like hypersonic type or other maybe unique weapons as far as missiles. 128 cells or tubes of Mark 41 vertical launch tubes. These can be a lot of different products. 141 or 128 different cells. There can be a lot of different things. You can anti-ship. You can set them up as anti-air. All sorts of crazy stuff. Right? They got all that. Second battery, they've got some stuff I don't know. They've got a 5-inch HVP gun. They've got 300 kilowatt rail gun. They've got a 32 megajoule. That's the rail gun with HVP. I don't know what that means. 300 kilowatt or 2 times 600 kilowatt lasers on their foreheads. 5-inch gun with HVP. Not sure what the HVP part is. My brain's not doing it. Defensive battery, they got some RAM launchers, 30 millimeter guns, Odin lasers, and counter U-by-X, UXS systems. Again, I'm not military, but I love this shit. Always happy to be corrected when it comes to military stuff. Yeah, but this thing's badass is what my point is. 128 cells is a shit ton of missiles. Arleigh Burke's got a lot, and they can load up some. This thing's going to be a missile platform, a heavy weapons, new current weapons, probably going to have 4 nuclear reactors on it. This thing's going to be insane. And we've gotten in bed with Korea and Japan to help us build stuff like this. Oh, man, this is so good. It's going to be interesting. Again, I hate the fact that we're still building weapons like this, but maybe this is actually going to be one of these things that's going to go up in space. Maybe. Could. Who knows? Who knows? J.D. Vance warns European nuclear arsenals could end up coming under the control of Islamicists. The way they're going, man, it's not good. They're just going to give it up. They're going to give it up. Someone's going to get control because they're just being stupid. Or they're running out of money and someone's going to sell them. Most likely what's going to happen. Iran holds surprise missile drills. Oh no, Iran still can shoot missiles. Everyone's freaking out about this. They're trying to make noise. Israel, they're behind this 100%, which makes so much sense. They are behind this 100%. Trump is not okay with Israel enhancing the war. We're reasonably sure. We also know Netanyahu's coming out here, I think in a couple days or so, 3 days, 4 days from now. Today's 23rd. We'll see. But I don't think Trump's going to give him what he wants. Everybody says Trump's in bed with Israel. Israel controls us. I don't think that for a second. I think hopefully a lot of you guys will have a harder time believing that after this plays out. And if I got to eat the words, I'll admit it happily, publicly. I always do. But I'm pretty sure Trump's not even close. We'll see it play out. Well, whatever. That's coming up. That'll be fun. So, yeah, they're definitely trying to make war. They want to have a war in Iran so freaking bad. For all the Bible people, you guys kind of need it. That's the Gog Magog of war, frankly. And I'm not okay with it, by the way. So I'm not going to support that even if it says this in Scripture, I don't give a shit. That's not necessary. I don't think it is. We'll see. If it is, it is. Some people might experience that. We'll see how this plays out, but I don't think it's necessary. I don't think we need to kill vast numbers of people on this planet. I don't think that's necessary. Some of us are trying to save as many lives as possible. We'll see. We're still going to get to the same place. Just, I'm going to have more people alive on my side. Israel approves 19 new settlements in the West Bank. This is definitely pissing off the other side even more. So, again, Israel's like, all right, we're not supposed to do this at all, so we're going to do it 19 more times, and that's going to make everything better. All right? We can't blow you up with missiles, so we're going to piss you off so much that you attack us. Fuck, really? Yeah, and that's pretty much in a nutshell. I don't think he's a nice guy. I'm reasonably sure he's not. He smiles nice, though. Sure does. Talks English really good. Matt Gaetz, not normally sharing his stuff at all, but this I thought was funny how this is going, if I remember correctly. He drops a bombshell. He dropped a bomb on me. He's exposing how Israel ran a blackmail and extortion operation against him and his family to permanently silence him. So now we've got all this anti-Israel stuff. Again, everything's got to be, what is it, zero sum is what J.D. Vance called it. I call it binary thinking. I don't know, whatever. But everything's got to be like, you're either pro-Israel or you're against Israel. Really? I'm first off, I'm against the deep state. We'll talk about that all day long. Against the deep state. But to say I'm against Israel, no. I'm not. And to say I'm for Israel, well, there's a bunch of deep state bastards there too, so no. I'm not really willing to say either of those things. How about that? I would say which testicle do, no? That's probably, sometimes. New NATO hub is opening in Romania. This to me, this feels weird. One, this feels like this is a public thing that they're announcing because they want everybody to think, oh, Ukraine's got a chance. You know, now that we're doubling the places that we can get stuff into them. Not just Poland, but also Romania. We can bring in weapons of European NATO destruction. But NATO has nothing. Nothing. They're trying. They're building them right now. We're going to make 2 missiles a year. So their hub's going to open in Romania. This has already been there. They've already been using it because otherwise we wouldn't know about it. Like someone narked on them, if you will, right? Somebody's like, yeah, we've been smuggling stuff in all the time over here. I don't know how Romanian people talk. They sound probably cool. They probably have a cool accent. Yeah, I don't even know what the accent was that I was attempting to do, frankly. I have no freaking idea what's going on right now, people. I am being held hostage. Putin's not interested in war with NATO. Actually, I shouldn't do shit like that because the boy who cried wolf, so take that back. I was just joking. I was joking. I was parody. I shouldn't do that, though, because if I need to one day, dadgummit. Putin's not interested in war with NATO. He's not. German defense chiefs even saying this. Mark Rutte's wrong. They're trying to build up the rhetoric. They want more war. They need war. They want Iran and Israel to fight each other. They want you guys to be, yay, let's do that. You do what you do. The same thing with Ukraine. They want, let's kill Russia. Fuck Russia. Russia sucks. Da, da, da. Right? Like, that's it. They make songs about it. Russia strikes military and energy sites in Ukraine. I think they're pissed about the general, too. The 600 kamikaze drones? Holy shit, I didn't see that the first time I looked at it. That's beyond dadgum. Fuck. 600 kamikaze drones and dozens of missiles of various types. Major power outages. Yeah, they hit major power. They also said they hit military targets. I had assumed they hit any drone manufacturing that they've got going on in country in Ukraine has been smoked. They even used the Kinzhal hypersonic missile. Russia was pissed. Kinzhal, sorry, I think I mispronounced that. More so than I meant to. Anyways. Yeah, all said. China rebukes Ukraine over sanctions. Ukraine's got sanctions on China. Think about it for a second. Ukraine's got zero to say, but they're like, hey, China, fuck you. As they start throwing chopsticks at them or whatever the shit happens when you say shit like that to China. Well, they get mad. They rebuke you. You get rebuked. Boy, you... I mean, some pay money for that. Sorry, I had a moment there. Sorry. Not him. I was thinking of other people. China's rebuking. All right, wait, we're moving on. We're moving on. It's a bad story. It's not good. It's not good for people. It's not good for children. It's not good for anybody. Oh, yeah, Trump admin, the Smithsonian. They cut funding for all this DEI nonsense. They're like, yeah, we're not going to fund you anymore. The Smithsonian. I love what Trump's doing. Again, he's you cut off funding, you start to figure stuff out very quickly. Russell Brand, I don't know, man. This is a dude that I think Russell Brand. He's been very public about it, and I'm not trying to speak for him, but I do have respect for this man. Oddly, someone I'd actually like to interview / meet in real life. And this is a funny thing that goes back. There's a long story that I don't want to get into right now. But Russell Brand is facing a new rape and assault charge. And again, this is someone that's very outspoken, very British, and comedic. He was very left-leaning, I think, but then the left left him, like many people. And he came onto our side. He's actually a huge proponent on Rumble. So mad love all the way across the board. But this individual... Whether he's guilty or not, we'll find out. He'll have his day in court, but I think this is in England. And this is the stuff they do. This is how it happens. You get big enough, someone will claim that something happened, you know? And again, like you can go back, countless years, and just be mad at someone because now who they are politically. It's just amazing how people can file things way after the effect. It's one thing last night I did something horrible and that person went to the cops or a day or two later they went to the cops, but 14, 20, 30 years later, really? Whatever. We'll find out. He might be guilty. And if he is, Russell, you should never rape. But he's talked a lot about this stuff, and I think this is another example of him being attacked. Again, not speaking for him. If he's guilty, throw the book at him. Throw it hard. Throw it right in his face. Nah, don't throw it in his face. He's got a nice face. Throw it somewhere where it'll leave a bruise and hurt him. Whatever. We'll see. This is any of you guys, as you start to try to approach success in a lot of places, if you're doing it for the right reasons, you'll find resistance. That resistance is needed. That resistance is there for a reason. But that resistance is annoying sometimes. Appreciate it, but understand it's there for the abrasive need, not something that has to stay, but is being utilized or should be utilized. I hope that gets to a few of you. I love you guys. We'll see how this goes. I don't know why I worry so much. It's all going to happen. It's in God's hands. I know that. I think sometimes like a lot of you guys, I want to micromanage, so I'm sure it's probably what it is. Again, I want to send love out to, and I didn't want to make a big thing of this at the beginning of the film, so any of you guys are that wanted me to make it a bigger deal, I don't think that's appropriate. But huge love for Nick, just an average American, dear family friend as far as when it comes to this channel. And I know his lovely wife, Tanya, is struggling right now. So prayers, please, to her, Tanya. She's having a very, very hard time. And she lost her husband. We don't know exactly why. It's kind of strange. He was too young. And it's just weird. He just didn't wake up. So we've lost a dear friend to our community. And anybody out there that can maybe throw an extra bit of love and prayers towards his wife, Tanya, to help her through this. So it's been very challenging for her. And understandably so. A lot of things are happening, guys. Changes are occurring. Prayer is one thing that makes a big difference. Our thoughts, our energy, and where we send it makes a huge difference. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.